Thank you so much, Sherlyn, for inviting me again for these diving talks. So I'm a deep sea ecologist, but I'm used to 100 meters vessels. I'm used to work in a submersible, ROVs, but at the moment I'm reduced to a fishing boat and my new rebreather. Anyway, I'm going to talk about Cape Verde and my new project. I'm the PI of the project. I'm from the University of Aveiro here in Portugal. So why Cabo Verde? So Cabo Verde is a country where blue growth can help to contribute with solutions, for high poverty rates, while building a long tradition of local economical use of marine environments. However, no valuable baseline knowledge is actually available. Nothing is written. So whenever I went to Cape Verde, I actually wanted to have a project in the deep sea because it's actually my expertise. But then because there is nothing written, in coastal environments, I decided to build a project in coastal waters, let's say. So COAST will provide a multidisciplinary understanding about biodiversity and how the ecosystem functions, as well as at the end we want to really recommend marine protected areas if needed. So I built a project with biologists, geologists, oceanographers, social economics, and so on. So it's a very multidisciplinary project. So Cabo Verde is a country with 10 islands, and I'm actually based in Santo Antão, so the most western and north island in Cabo Verde. So the main objectives, and I'm not going into detail, but the main objectives is to characterize like everything. Pelagic and benthic habitats. We're gonna estimate patterns of diversity. We're gonna assess the vulnerability of studied communities. Gonna try to implement conservation and restoration actions. And at the end, we're going to provide baseline data to inform policymakers, authorities, institutions, so that this project can be like an example for Cape Verde and can be repeated in the other islands. But also, we would like that this project can be repeated in other African countries. So this is just a project structure. I'm not going to go into detail, but so you can see that is a lot of work packages, and the work package one is where actually COAST is standing now. And in a week time, I'm going back there where work package 2 and 3 will start. So this is just expected scientific impact. So we want to improve knowledge on marine Santo Antão habitats, provide efficient management recommendations for their sustainable development. We want to improve research capacity to collect data with the locals, develop training on new instrumentation operations and maintenance, and we want to establish a collaborative environment for the integrated analysis of local data. And then at the end, of course, advance innovative technology and vulnerability analysis of marine ecosystems in Santo Antão. So I'm not going to go into the detail, but then we are collaborating with local environmental authorities, local community members, fishermen, and NGOs, universities, and research institutions. So without the fishermen, I'm nothing here in the island. So I built a network of fishermen that help me to do my research. So in Porto Novo, I have these guys helping me a lot, and then you will understand why they are so important in the project. So in Tarrafal, I have these ones, then Jaza in going up north, and then Nono and Gabi in Cruzinha. So I have a very extensive network of fishermen, and they are one of the best. They know more than me, so it's actually really, really cool to work with them, but very hard. So to do my work, I am a gypsy. I have a truck where I put all the rebreathers and bailouts and stuff. This is my vessel, so I work with different boats in Santo Antão. And so the rebreathers and bailouts, they are there, and nobody touches my rebreather because it's a very precious thing to me. And then we just, go and put the rebreathers in our vessel and just go and do the work. Of course, we also use open circuits, and we do the same. So we go all around the island. I have this network of fishermen. We have our lab in the boat, so we have computers, and we have also the open water circuits thing. So we are building a geodatabase, which is to organize, all the data that we have from geology to biology to actually social economics. And then these are layers, and then at the end we're going to have a map with, we're going to have a map with everything that we have collected. We are also collecting multi-beam data all around the island, and for that we are using the Coastal Guard. So we just install a pole for a multi-beam, and then we just do transects all around the island so that we know where to go for the fauna. This is just an example of our multi-beam. This is in Tarrafal and Montrigo, in the southern part of the island. And with these, we found really, really cool walls of black corals, and it's really, really cool. Anyway, for the fauna service, the objectives, this is in shallow water. We're going to characterize benthic and pelagic communities, and we're going to take photographic service and also collect samples, like Luis also referred. We're going to estimate benthic coverage, but also fish abundances and diversity, and we are actually building up a catalog of everything that we are finding in Cabo Verde. Then we are also using, together with another project, drop cams and ROVs in our vessel, but in Cabo Verde, especially on those walls, these are really impossible because of the currents, and so one of the times the ROV got entangled, in the wall of the coral, so we had to go by diving, taking the ROV and back to the boat, and we lost a drop cam also in those walls, so it's laying down at 80 meters, and we hope to retrieve it now whenever we are going back there. So these are the points that we have done so far. So in the green are the green dots that you see there. It's all the different images of the drop cams. So this is to collect the different habitats that exist in Santo Antão. And then the orange dots are the diving locations. And those diving locations are either at 15 meters, so the shallower ones, or the rebreather dots. So we pretty much covered all the island. So actually spend most of my time underwater. So these are just examples of the different habitats in the shallower environments. So you can see seagrass fields, you see gorgonians, you see rhodolites, and also you see lots of places where you have nothing, so you just have sand, and you have a lot of corals. These are with images with the drop cam, so if you go deep up to 100 meters, you find a lot of black corals, but you also find sandy hills at 40 meters, and actually, to be honest, the fishermen were really scared to see the sandy hills, so I had to go there myself together with a guide to photograph in closer than with using the drop cam. These are, so in some of the places that we could actually not use the drop cam, we went there ourselves. So I also have my dive manager, which is Fred from France, and Bruno. And so we just went either with the information that Multibeam told us that maybe there was a wall there, or the fishermen, they just say, go there. There is a wall. So we just went to the water, our rebreathers, cameras, and then we just went. And we found really, really cool places like Black Coral Forest, and that's where we are standing now. So this is a video of my favorite wall, actually. And this wall is really long, and it goes up to 60 meters. And it also happened to me that I was there, and I'm always the deepest one. I was there, and Fred and Bruno were calling me because there were 2 tiger sharks passing by, but then I was photographing the corals and I didn't see them. And they were yelling at me, but yeah, I didn't see the tiger sharks. And then in contrast, so if you go to the northern part of the island, where you can only go there in June, July, instead of black coral forests, you see fields and fields of gorgonians. And I'm not sure, because I'm not a coral specialist, if this is bleaching or not, but it's full of gorgonians there, and it goes up to 45 meters. But the fields are really extensive. So, but we only can go there in June, July, and August. So, yeah, these are new discoveries. So we're going to go there next year. Of course, together with the fauna, we have to also collect some ocean climatology from Santo Antão, and these are a collection of 20 years satellite data, and we want to characterize, of course, the ocean climatology around the island. So we know that there is only 2 seasons, the summer and the winter. So on your left-hand side, you have the temperature, and on your right, you have the chlorophyll, which stands for the food available in the water. And so you can see that this actually all around the island is very, very different. And this is our oceanographic cruise. So instead of a CTD, we have like a sonar, a sonda that we can collect all kinds of data like pH, temperature, salinity, and so on. And so we went all around the island, just deploying up to 200 meters, and we collect an extensive data collection, let's say. And this is done with the University of the Azores. So we are actually standing here, so we are going to go there next Sunday. We are going to go and try to implement restoration actions. So I have a team from Barcelona that is coming with me, and we're going to see if we can implement restoration protocols for the corals. So if they also work in Cabo Verde. And then later on, another team is coming, and we are going to try to build a food web all around Santo Antão to see how the ecosystem or how these habitats work in terms of food. So, because you have places where you have a lot of food, places where you don't, places where you have a lot of corals and lots of fish, and places where you have nothing. So that's where we are standing. And that's why I want to talk to you, Luis. We are going there for the walls, and we want to have numbers. So we want to estimate biodiversity in those walls, because I'd like to see if I can recommend marine protected areas at least in one of these locations. So as part of the work, we are also mapping and assessing the socioeconomic importance of key coastal and marine economic activities. So we had interviews all around the island in December, and this is to be continued. And for the first time, the politicians, in Cape Verde, in Santo Antão, they only talked about agriculture. And for the first time, they invited me to launch Coast, and now they are also seeing the importance of the sea in Cabo Verde. So I think it's great that now we are being considered. We are also disseminating the project all over, Cape Verde especially, so together with the NGOs, so we are giving workshops, but we are also giving non-scientific talks to the policymakers so that they have more awareness of the sea. And so this is where I stand, the capacity development. So on your left-hand side are the fishermen with whom I work. So they are very important because we exchange knowledge between ourselves. And what I want to do is that they will tell me at the end which areas we need to protect. Because even if I say that that area or that area needs protection, without them, it won't be protected. So actually, I give talks to them. They are involving, within the project. They are in the boat. I put them looking at the images of the drop cam. And some of them, they go into the water, not with a rebreather, of course. And but then I show them the catalog, and I completely involve them within the project. And they are already telling me that they need to protect that area and that area because the fish are disappearing. So I think this capacity developing is working, so which is really nice. Then we are also having master students from Africa. So Bola, the green lady there, she just finished her master in seagrass. So I don't understand anything about seagrass, but now I do thanks to her. We put lots of cameras down so to study the fish around the seagrass, and she just finished her master's studies. And then Geomar, so it's also a partner from the project, they went there and they gave a multi-beam to the Coastal Guard, and together with that they taught the locals how to use the multi-beam. So yeah, the capacity development is actually working in Santo Antão. Then outreach, we were in the news in the Aveiro, Porto, but okay, it's Portugal, doesn't really matter. What it matters is that they actually publish a paper in the newspaper, in a local newspaper, Nação, about the project that we are actually doing. So I think it's really cool. And because I work with the French and the French rebreathers, we are negotiating to have at the end a documentary that is done by a French broadcast channel. And if this works, I think it's going to be really nice. And then, of course, we want to have a contact with local schools so that the kids also know what's happening in their waters. Of course, we have our webpage, Facebook and Twitter, Instagram and LinkedIn, because we are obliged to inform, especially the EU that gave us the grant. And this is our webpage, and also the Facebook and so on. So you can have a look at our developments. So thank you for your attention, and a special thanks to the fishermen, which is Jaja, Freds and Jason, Jazz and so on, Ricardo, that has a diving center there and is supporting us with the tanks. And then these are locals, Tommy, Alberto and Steven, they are from the NGO there, Rui, Evander and Corinne from UTA, from the university, and then these guys are from the Ocean Science Center. Thank you.